Another thing that I liked was actually pretty simple, but it was Cloud's new ability to jump and climb.
Yeah.
That wasn't in Remake, right?
I don't think it was, but the minute it was telling me to go do this, I was like, okay, I know that you all own Tomb Raider.
Right.
I know that. So somebody from the Tomb Raider team ended up on this team, and that's how we ended up with that.
But it makes sense because if there's going to be a lot more like kind of not open world, but like map type of walking around, it makes sense that you would have to interact with your terrain a lot more. So it was fun seeing him interact with his environment. But to be honest with you, I was so used to not being able to jump at all that at one point I even walked all the way around a room to access a treasure chest, just sitting behind a fence, not realizing until afterwards that I could just jump the fence.
Yeah, I still hadn't realized that. And when I was running by, I looked for a way to get to it and I didn't see it. And I was like, well, I'm in a hurry to finish this demo tonight, so I'll come back later.
Got to get the demo done so I can talk about it in a few hours.
It probably is the same one now that we think about it.
It's probably the same exact one. Yeah.
I'm okay with the jumping around stuff. Like, I've played the Tomb Raider games. I love those games. I got nothing against Tomb Raider, so I'm not going to complain about that. But the one thing that I disliked that this reminded me of was pushing those stupid air purifiers around. That was so, this is a thing. Like, I get it, right? You make this game and you spent all this time and money and like you want the players to get an extended experience, right? As long of an experience as you can.
Right. And like some diverse play, right? Like pull something, push something. Yeah.
What doesn't help is when there are mechanics in the game that are purposely meant to slow you down.
Oh.
Like you're trying to go at a certain pace, right?
And well, you were in a hurry.
This is an action combat game, right? This is about going fast. And then here I am pushing this giant thing around trying to suck up this dirty air. And I'm like, look, there are people who love vacuuming at home. I get it, right?
It did feel like vacuuming, like where the cable gets stuck.
But it felt like I was doing a chore.
Yeah, it did. It totally did.
Right? And it was annoying. And so like, this is one of those things where it's like, okay, I understand what you're trying to do here. This was probably not the best way to accomplish that. So that was just one thing that annoyed me. And the reason that piggybacks onto your climbing thing is that while climbing is a cool mechanic, it also slows you down.
Yes.
Right? As opposed to just like walking through corridors and paths and all that kind of stuff. So like on the one hand, I appreciate it in a certain way, but in another way, like anytime a game tries to slow me down, it annoys me.
Do you think it annoyed you even more because you were in such a hurry to get the demo done?
Oh, absolutely. I would be lying if I told you that it had nothing to do with it. Of course it did. I was trying to finish it in one night. And I know I had read online that if you ran through it, you could get it done in 30 minutes. But it's
30? Oh, dang.
But it's about 90 minutes. But if you really wanted to explore every little crevice, which is what I usually do when I play RPGs, especially Final Fantasies, then it could take like 2.5 hours or 2 hours.
That's what it took me. Like I went to every corner and it took like 2.5 hours, but it wasn't, there wasn't really much of a payoff for going to every corner. So I don't recommend it.
That's the problem, right? I would rather them have me do a fetch quest for a key to open that door than to be pushing that stupid vacuum cleaner around.
Wasn't a big fan.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying, but it didn't bother me as much, but I was also able to take my time with the game.
Yeah, the next thing you know, they're going to have like Dyson slapped on the side of that thing and it's like a co-branding opportunity. So I was like, calm down, guys.
Remember Cup of Noodles from
Yes,
Final
Cup of Noodles from was it 15?
15, yeah, it was everywhere.
The Cup of Noodles.
If you take something already delicious like cup noodles and add in the finest, freshest ingredients, what do you get? The ultimate flavor experience.
And so was, Coleman on all the camping gear.
Yeah, Coleman on the camping gear. Like somebody got paid clearly on that one.
They leaned into that hard. It was actually kind of entertaining.
15 wasn't that bad. I mean, I thought that was kind of funny because those are like kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah, it was kind of hilarious.
As opposed to like, there was a certain era of racing arcade games where they were putting advertisements all over the buildings and the course. And I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. Like, we need to dial this back.
Product placement, if done too much, can be so cringy that it actually detracts from the quality of the game. So you have to balance as a developer whether it's worth it to put something like that in a game because you will lose people's favorability, but you'll be paid by the sponsor. So it's a balancing act, right?
For sure.